So I think one of the reasons that I don't see a lot of teachers using political cartoons is because we are afraid to bring politics into our classroom. And that's easy to understand because as far as our political affiliations are concerned, we're not supposed to share them in the classroom. Also, students often have many different beliefs, some similar to our own, some different than our own, and so we don't want to make them think that their beliefs are wrong or that ours are right. We think that sometimes bringing politics into the classroom can be too controversial, and sometimes it definitely can be. And also we think, well, our social science teachers can bring politics into the classroom. They can talk about how politics works and the history of politics, and so we don't have to do it. However, I think that political cartoons are very different from politics in general. Um, as far as what political cartoons are, they are different from regular comic strips because often it's just one picture or illustration. Um, it does contain political messages, but sometimes it can also contain social or cultural messages as well. It doesn't have to be super controversial. Sometimes they're funny, sometimes they're serious. They have varying amounts of bias depending on where they're coming from and who the author is, and often they're pretty sarcastic. And I should just mention with Harambe here at the bottom that not I thought that was me. I thought that I would bring in a wide variety of different political cartoons in here, so I'm not suggesting that you should use every single political cartoon that I have up here, but I'm just showing you a wide range of them. So I think there are so many ways that you can use political cartoons in the classroom to practice close reading with your students. They can be used for something as simple as bell ringers or exit slips, even test prep because visual literacy is very important, even in standardized tests now. Discussion starters, group activities, you can do creative writing prompts with them, sort of like finish the story or write what these characters are feeling, and so many other things. As well, I wanted to bring up the fact that this really covers so many different standards to be able to use political cartoons in the classroom, and there's this really cool museum website that shows not only the visual literacy standards that you can find in maybe a museum or art exhibit, but also in something like cartoons. So, I mean, you can analyze different subjects in several different mediums, determine different details, things like that. So I won't spend too much time on that, but it's a really good. Oh, and not that, sorry. It's a really good reference for you. So, sorry. Let me get back to mine. This is a preview for a different one. Sorry, Carly, I'm gonna exit out of that. You're good. However, if you're still skittish about bringing politics into your classroom, even in just the form of a cartoon, a really great way to still bring political cartoons in is to bring in really old ones. So this one's about the New Deal, and this illustrator is really critical about some of the New Deal plans that FDR had, and so he's kind of saying that all his different deals are sort of like a kid waiting for Santa to bring him a bunch of gifts, and it's really optimistic, and he thinks all these good things are going to happen, but maybe not. And then for those of you who do want to talk about more current events, but you don't want to get too controversial, I think the New Yorker political cartoons are amazing, and I've had conversations with some of you in here about how maybe they shouldn't even be called political cartoons because they're more based on culture rather than politics oftentimes. So this one I really like. They've got these windmills and saying they're powered by internet outrage, and you see all these young people and their computers typing away. So. Also, I mean, with some political cartoons, there is some prior knowledge or background that maybe some students need to have, but not always. For example, this one is about how Paris removed love locks from this bridge. It was a tourist tradition to put a lock on a bridge with someone you loved, and that kind of represented your love to that person, but they had to remove them because it was getting so heavy that they were afraid the bridge was going to collapse. But also, you don't need to know this important background information. You can just sort of analyze the picture and see that they seem like maybe they're in love or they're sharing a special moment and they're putting this lock up. And then right behind them you see this worker and he's taking them all down, and it kind of shows that their special moment is sort of being interrupted or taken away. So what are the things you analyze with your students? Well, there's several things depending on what you're focusing on. You can talk about parts of the picture such as objects or people in them, whether those people are sort of a caricature or more of a realistic looking person. The words that they use, whether there's a lot of words in the cartoon or a few, vagueness, different kinds of sarcasm, colors or lack of color, historical significance if you want to pair it with something that happened through time. And I have seen children using political cartoons in the classroom, and as soon as you kind of talk them through it the first couple times, they really begin to pick up on these details by themselves. So really quick, I want to do a super short activity. This is based off a Huffington Post article I saw that was actually doing some comparing and contrasting with old and new political cartoons. So if you look at this political cartoon here, which was a New Yorker cartoon, I want you to just write down a couple things that you notice right away. And if you can't read, it says here at the bottom, if you connect measles, it spells out my parents are idiots. So really, just put down a couple things that you notice, and then what do you think the cartoon is trying to say? And I'll give you a couple seconds for that. And here's an older political cartoon. And again, if you can't read, there's an area down here, it says smallpox. There's a clip here, it says misinformation. And then you've got a couple different characters up here. That word up there says prejudice. You have anti-vaccinationist, faddist, Mr. Careless, and anti-everything. So if you just put down a couple words about what you notice, and then what do you think the cartoon is trying to say. And if you want to do this on your phone or just kind of keep them in your head for lack of time, that's fine too. Okay, can I have anyone raise their hand and tell me what you think the messages are for these two cartoons?
How is the why needing the why?
Yes.
As a parent, it's something you kind of confront quite often as people, oh, vaccination cause blank. And the first one is parents think they know better than medically trained staff.
Right.
And the kid, oh,
Yeah.
he has immunity as God gave him, and he's sitting there with measles.
Right. Right. So they are saying very similar messages, just in different ways and in different time periods. So this message is sort of vaccinate your kids. Again, you don't have to use something that's controversial in your classroom, but it was just an example. The more recent cartoon was a little more subtle than the first one, although they're still pretty biting, I would say. The older cartoon, I think, includes more information, maybe points more fingers in different areas. And one thing you can ask your students after they do a compare and contrast is to ask them which cartoon seems more powerful and why. And that's what I have for you guys. Thank you very much.